Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering, to those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies checking from Pinnacle. Play hard, bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Where will Aaron Rodgers play?
Gosh.
God, I can't believe we're doing this again.
You know who it's going to be.
Oh.
Tennessee Titans. Tighten up.
Oh, no.
You know they're going to do it. You know they're going to do it.
Oh, no.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
We got Southern Heritage Classic news. Mike, Tennessee State out. Where do you think the Classic goes from here? Is this a thing that sort of dooms this Classic, Southern Heritage Classic?
I don't ever bet against Fred Jones. I don't count Fred Jones out. You have to have the event. You have to continue to have the weekend, and a football game has to be part of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle,
with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
Noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It's a Friday, March 7th, 2025 edition of the show. Today on the show, Gary Parrish is going to join us in the studio, of course, from the Gary Parrish Show. In addition to that, Grizzlies are going to be back in action against a team that things might be going worse for. I think it's fair to say. There's very few times where you could be on a 4-game losing streak and say, hey, at least we're not them. That is the case, as they're going to play against the Dallas Mavericks this weekend. We'll get through what's going on with them this weekend. Memphis Tigers are going to have a goodbye for some seniors and have their last regular season home game of the season tonight at FedEx Forum. We'll get to all the big things that are happening over the weekend, as we've got quite a few very good sporting events, not the least of which are some great NBA games that are going to be on, as now they have gotten a much bigger stage than they had when football was going on. It is a Friday, kind of dark and cold out, but smile, let's do it. Turn it up! Everybody's having a good day. All right, we got a ton of stuff to get to. It is a big weekend ahead. We have some basketball in town. We have some basketball out of town that we will get to all of it before I get to anything. I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Band, the Senior Sec, Johnny Backpole, Johnny Bearcat, John Asparagus, Johnny Neckcarb, John Lance. He's Dr. Thunder. He's John Quadrant. He's Yogi Roser.
What up?
Hello, John.
Hello.
Devin Walker's here. He's the microphone wrangler, Senor Quasadilla, Mr. Math, Navajo Joe, the reporter, the photographer. He's Sir Hess. He's a Walker 93.
Might as well call ESPN tonight the Memphis News Network. You know, tonight they're the doubleheader of Memphis basketball. You know, the Grizzlies at 6:30. Then you got Tigers.
It's on ESPN?
Yeah. Grizz at ESPN.
ESPN 2, I think.
Then you got Tigers on ESPN 2. So it's all about us tonight, Verno. It's all about the M. You feel me?
All right, center stage. Yeah. Gary Parrish is here in studio. You can listen to the Gary Parrish Show every morning at 10 o'clock on Grind City Media and all of the available outlets. I did not even know that tonight's Memphis Mavs game was on ESPN.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, right. And John Morant's not on the injury report?
He also is not on the
Nowhere.
injury report.
I looked 17 times.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, look. Can you stop? Can y'all stop? Can we get to 4 o'clock, please?
Yeah, every once in a while they'll hit you with that 5 p.m.
Yeah, a little freaky, little, you know what I'm saying? Like throw a little.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Let's make sure he gets to the bus, and then let's count our chickens before they hatch.
I understand. All right. Real quick before we get into anything else, Roser, Devin and I went to the Tony Allen premiere of the documentary Tony Allen, the Grindfather, earlier this week. It debuted last night on YouTube.
Yes.
You watched it?
I did. I watched it when I got home from a Hustle game last night.
What happened at the Hustle game? Do we need to know?
Again. We lost both of these games.
Oh, by the way, until the injury report, I didn't know that Zion Pullen had surgery.
Yeah.
On something.
Yeah, the tendinopathy. He had all
he
that.
was hooping before that.
It said surgery recovery, and I was like, oh, God, what?
Yeah.
He had surgery?
Yeah.
Man, poor guy.
I really liked him, too.
Yeah,
me too.
So
Solid player.
obvious. So who did you didn't Jay Huff play for you?
No, he did not play last night.
played
He
the
played
other game.
Tuesday.
Oh.
But that is what always happens. Whenever we get either a two-way that we haven't had in a long time, or we get an assignment player from the Grizzlies who we've never had, always lose.
Okay, real quickly.
Always
Hustle last night. What do I need to
Lost.
know? Who'd they play?
The South Bay Lakers for the second time.
Oh, Bronny James.
No.
No.
I saw Bronny was on TNT last night. I
Yeah.
saw him.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
No.
What, did LeBron and Stephen A. Smith got into it over Bronny last
Yeah,
night?
it was a subject of conversation last night.
Yeah.
It's LeBron.
Oh, everybody was. Yeah, look, it's tense times, man. You had Kendrick Perkins and Charles Barkley fighting. You had LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith fighting. You had Draymond Green saying that Cat was ducking Jimmy Butler, yet he was at a funeral, and then doubling down on it, saying, "Well, that's what I heard."
This is like, but isn't this kind of proof that it, like in the NBA,
Gossipy
it
chick
is-
thing to say.
That's what the NBA is? Because I'm serious. You told me before, you were like, dude, Brunson's ankle. And I was like, Brunson got hurt last night. Like, I got home from the Hustle game. I watched the TA documentary, and then I went to bed. I'm serious. If you open up the internet today, there is not. You wouldn't know who won the Lakers-Knicks game last night. You would have no idea about anything that happened in that game.
Because it's LeBron
other
and
than
Stephen A.
LeBron and Stephen A.
LeBron,
Smith.
Stephen A.,
It's the only
man.
thing you would know
The
about
drama.
that game.
The drama. Anyways, who plays for the South Bay Lakers? Better question, who are we going to sign in the future?
Well,
because we have a lot of former South Bay Lakers.
Yeah,
we're like a
we
farm
do.
system.
Cole Swider.
By the way, we are.
I'm
But
good on him.
weirdly enough, we are their farm system because they made a roster spot for Jordan Goodwin and Trey Jemisen's on the
was
roster
playing last
too.
night.
Right?
Yeah. He played big minutes, not big minutes, but he played meaningful minutes last night.
Yeah, I think they're doing that because Scottie Pippen and Jay Huff have been good for us.
No, like, you know what? We're
So
gonna
it's like,
play
you
them
know
on our
what?
team.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're taking the old Grizzly guys then.
Yeah.
We can't have this embarrassment. We can't have Scottie Pippen being good. Go ahead.
Cole Swider, the guy who hit the game winner in
the
Summer
North
League
Carolina
against us.
guy.
He's one of the best shooters I've ever seen in the G League. The guy's never shot worse than like 43, 44% from three, and he takes like 9 a game.
I'm good on him.
Stanley Johnson, former
Wait.
lottery pick, played at Arizona, plays for him now.
He's still in the G?
Dude, that team
The
has
LeBron stopper.
That team's been terrible, and ever since they added Stanley Johnson and Cole Swider, they've actually they're winning games. So
Wow. All right. So some
Christian
flash from the
Coloco's on a two-way with them.
past. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know Christian.
And then they've got a
Coloco.
guy, Quincy Oliveri, who is the only reason I even will remember his name is he is signed to Under Armour's Curry brand. Yeah.
Okay, well, much like the NBA, the subject of conversation this week that is hovering around the Memphis Tigers, though we're not exactly breaking down their opponents like UTSA and tonight the game against South Florida. We don't spend a lot of time talking about the individual opponents, and then we certainly will talk about the games and how they performed in those. But it is always, much like the NBA, the other stuff that is going on. And Gary, I'm glad you're in here today because we're going to play this game tonight. I think, who did Penny say is going to be, there's going to be some guys that are like actually out there walking. He mentioned 4 different guys, right, that are going to be out there?
Nick Jordan, Tyrese Hunter, question mark, I think.
No, he didn't mention Hunter.
Let me see the
I don't
graphic.
believe.
Hold on, I'll pull up the graphic. Kobe Rogers, Dane Danger, Nick Jordan, Musa Cisse.
That's right.
And Dane Danger.
Rogers, Jordan, Hunter, Danger, Suse.
Yeah.
And then he also said that PJ Carter and Dante Harris would not walk. Okay. So those are the guys.
Those are the dudes right there.
That are going to be honored tonight for Senior Day. And it's always weird because you have this Senior Day, and typically over the years, when you have a Senior Day, you have 4 years of stock into guys. We have 3 months of stock into guys, right? Anyways, the story came out this week where it's like, hey, PJ Haggerty's going to win this conference award. PJ Haggerty, I think Penny called him the best shooting guard in the country. And then the attention turned to, and this is unfortunate because you still got tonight to play. You still got the conference tournament to play. You still got the NCAA tournament to play. But it's already a story of whether or not you're going to have guys for next year, not the least of which is your best player in PJ Haggerty. And do you think I guess the first question is, do you think that has become a thing because there has got to have been a level of frustration he is currently dealing with by other teams coming in and putting those offers on the table already, though you still have a regular season game, a conference tournament, and an NCAA tournament to play? Because it is odd that we're not to the off season. Like, there's still a lot of basketball to play. And if PJ Haggerty will be a Memphis Tiger, and if Memphis is going to be able to come up with the money for PJ Haggerty to be a Memphis Tiger, is a subject.
Yeah, I think
it is a subject because he brought it up.
And but it's like, you're right, we're still in the middle of a season, but this season could be over in 2 weeks.
Could.
Like, it could be just over, and this stuff happens fast. You know, the transfer portal is going to open, and I believe Penny said that he knows there are other programs that are already making the people around PJ Haggerty very aware, and this is the way it happens. The idea that...
But are you surprised that he put it on Front Street like that?
No, and here's why. I think Memphis has more NIL than anybody else in the AAC, but probably not a comparable package to Arkansas, Kentucky, Louisville, Kansas, Texas, Alabama, those type of schools. Penny knows it's going to cost, like, these are just the numbers, $2-3 million to keep PJ Haggerty. It just is.
Right,
and he probably doesn't have that right now and needs to be able to say within weeks, PJ, you don't even have to get in the transfer portal. Here's what we've got. You need to be able to have those conversations within the next couple of weeks.
Because they're having those conversations without you. It's like a contract negotiation right now that is going on, and thus it became put on Front Street.
The way this is happening right now, I guarantee you this is basically the truth, some version of this. It's never going to be Nate Oates picks up the phone, texts PJ Haggerty and says, would really love you to be a Crimson Tide.
Right.
That's not the way it works. More likely, it will be an assistant coach at any school, Texas, Alabama. He's calling an AAU coach, grassroots coach, somebody who's got their hands on agent, whoever, talking to him about a million other things, and then something like this gets said. So how's Haggerty? Like, you got Haggerty, right? Yeah. How happy is he at Memphis? Hey, what's he making there? Oh, yeah, they gave him like, I'm just making up numbers. Yeah, they gave him like $800,000. 800? Is he just like set there, or does the money matter? Would he be interested? What if somebody could throw 2.5 at him? Would he be interested then? Yeah, just let me know. Just circle back with me. That's happening. That's already happened.
Can you walk us through this? Is it all boosters? Is it right? Because what's so strange to me is understanding how this works. The original thought. This is obviously the Wild Wild West, and inevitably, whenever there is the Wild Wild West situation, there is going to come a time of regulation. The NCAA loses virtually every lawsuit they're ever in. And so instead of going to court over anything, now it's just the Wild Wild West, and they have no rules on this. And the whole idea, which we all agreed with, was, hey, man, it's goofy that a PJ Haggerty's, if they're selling jerseys of PJ Haggerty and they're selling all these tickets, they're getting all this money and they're bringing in all this money. And if he wants to sign his jersey, or if he wants to say, hey, I'm PJ Haggerty and after the games I go to Wingstop or whatever, like, that's name, image, and likeness, right? And it's like, nothing I ever hear is about name, image, and likeness, right? When you're talking about, hey, man, we need to give PJ Haggerty $2 million, it's not because PJ Haggerty is generating some extraordinary amount of money, or because the school is making money hand over fist because PJ Haggerty's on the team. And yet, and I love PJ Haggerty, right? But I mean, like, I've never seen a commercial, I've never seen, so like, where did we go from, hey, these guys should be able to benefit, and these guys should be able to use their name, image, and likeness to profit, which I agree with wholeheartedly, to basically it's contract negotiations like we're in the NBA.
Right. Okay. So it all starts with, we should not be preventing student athletes from earning money off of their name, image, and likeness, particularly when the NCAA is making money off of their name, image, and likeness.
Correct.
Most people agreed with that.
Yep.
The problem became, once you decide, we will now let companies, boosters, corporations sign them to contracts, you could never.
Yeah, like what do you do for that money?
Okay, so I
play basketball, right? Like the answer, we all thought that it was going to be like, the guy that's the star.
Like having jerseys with their name on it.
Or when it first started, do you remember the guy, by the way, whatever happened to him? Do you remember DeColdest Crawford at Nebraska? And he was doing like a refrigerator brand, and he was like, I like so-and-so fridges because they're DeColdest.
Right.
And it was like, oh, this is going to be the new age.
Louisiana Tech.
La Tech. I'll be damned, DeColdest.
See how it happens?
Yeah.
So I remember,
he was.
I'll just tell this story, and I think the answer to your question will be somewhere in this story. The very first time the NCAA publicly acknowledged they were going to pursue a path to allowing student athletes to benefit from name, image, and likeness, they held a conference call. And they opened it up for questions. It's like, hit pound 9 if you want to ask a question, pound 9. Let's go to Gary Parrish, CBS Sports. Gary, what's your question? I said, because here's what they said. We are going to allow student athletes to benefit off their name, image, and likeness, but it will not be allowed to be a recruiting tool. And I hit pound 9 and I said, I hear what you say. How are you going to do that? They said, well, what do you mean? You're going to allow players to benefit off their name, image, and likeness. Correct. But you will not allow name, image, and likeness to be a recruiting tool. Correct. How? I'm just asking, how are you going to do that? How are you going to police that?
And they said, Gary, your connection's getting bad. I can't really hear you.
They have no answer. They have no answer to it.
Really? Yeah, they had no answer.
Well, you know what? That's part of the process. That's what we're looking into. And here, I wrote the column. You could probably go find the column. I wrote the column that day, and here's what it says. You know why they don't have an answer? Because there's not one. They can meet for the next 6 months. There will never be one. Because once you allow...
They did the Trump thing. It's concepts of a plan.
There you go, right.
I have concepts of a plan, bro.
Right. So I just took it to the furthest extreme. Think about it as long as you want. How are you going to be able to police this? Because you can't put any limits on anything. That's how you get sued. So it very quickly became exactly what it is, which is pay for play. The truth is, PJ Haggerty, to any business in Memphis, is not worth $2 million. You're more famous than PJ Haggerty. But I mean, that's just the truth. With your social media following,
right,
you are worth more to Bank of Bartlett than PJ Haggerty is.
Right.
In all the ways that somebody would be worth a corporation as a spokesperson. You're more valuable than PJ Haggerty. The only place that PJ Haggerty means $2 million to is that basketball program. And there is no way to stop it from, there's no system in place to prevent universities just throwing millions of dollars or their supporters throwing millions of dollars. So that's what's happening right now.
Is it always the supporters? You know what I mean? Like the school is not actually giving.
That's coming.
Okay.
Not yet, but that's coming.
This is always just Penny has to find 5 rich guys.
Yeah.
There is no, like, theoretically, there is no pot of money that Auburn has for this that Memphis doesn't, that is school-related, other than school-related being rich people that care deeply about the program.
Now, that's going to change.
Okay.
But for now, it is really just whatever amount of money you can generate.
Well, and you covered that. Look, bro, the same rich people are still around, Gary.
Yes. This is what I said.
We know them.
Here's what I said
we
earlier
know
in the week.
He know there will be people that still care desperately about Memphis basketball and do not want to answer his question. Do you guys want to be big time or not? This was the question that Calipari always got when it was illegal.
Right.
Do you want to be big time or not?
Right. And so,
because if you want to be big time, here's what big time schools do.
So this is what I believe. There is nothing in the Memphis NIL budget that supports paying a player what they're going to have to pay PJ Haggerty to get him back on campus, because other schools are going to have it in their budget to offer him $2 million. Worse players than PJ Haggerty got offered $2 million last offseason. It is completely logical to assume that's the starting number for him. Or at the very least, somebody's going to be willing to go above that. Yeah. I'm confident that it is not in Memphis's NIL budget right now to spend that kind of money on one player. I am also confident, exactly what you said, Penny Hardaway will sit down with somebody and say, "This is. Do you want me to succeed?
This is the price of doing business,
This is
bro.
what it costs to have a championship level team. Do you want it or not?" And somebody will step up and do it. Rick Pitino has said this.
Well, in fairness, it's good. It's good for coaches in that sense, because it's bad if they don't succeed, but if you don't come up with the funds, and then now they want your head and they're mad at you, and you didn't come up with the money, then any coach is going to be able to say, bro,
right?
Do y'all want to be awesome or not? I told you what it costs to be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't compete with somebody that's eighth man is making $500,000.
Well, like at Ole Miss, I can just tell you, the 13th scholarship player is making six figures. Everybody on that team is making hundreds of thousands of dollars at least. Everybody. So that's
because they care about them being good.
So that's like you can. I talked to Chris Beard about it. Chris Beard's like, if you come here to Ole Miss, red shirt, and then spend the next 4 years here, spend 5 years here, you could be a millionaire when you leave here.
Jesus.
With no debt whatsoever.
Sheesh.
You could own a house, be a millionaire, whatever you want to be. By sitting on my bench for 5 years.
I would love to do that.
You could do that.
I'd
All right,
be
that's
proud.
where we're at.
I was wondering this last night. I don't know if you saw, but you have a great awareness from covering college basketball of how awesome Baylor Shireman was, right? Mm-hmm. Baylor Shireman evidently he got in for the Celtics. Yeah. Bang, 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 making threes. And of course, it leads everybody that follows the NBA that knows nothing about college basketball to be like, who is Baylor Shireman? You know, even this morning, Jacoby was on our podcast. He's like, do Celtics just like create these guys? Like, who is these Hausers and these whatever? But I thought, I remember during the draft, Bill Simmons was like, Baylor Shireman, that's a guy because he's going to be very late in the first round. There's a guy that like can just knock down threes, right? As he has when he's gotten in for the Celtics already this year. I wondered if Baylor Shireman made more this year playing for the Celtics or more last year. Honestly.
Oh, there were.
I wonder. He was like the last pick of the first round because they won the title. Do you think you make more money being the last pick of the first round? Because, bro, you just mentioned PJ Haggerty's going to get paid more than whoever gets drafted 32nd.
Well, like let's look at the rookie scale for next year.
I think it's $1 million, bro. I'm not kidding.
Got you.
I think you get $1 million if you're drafted at the end of the first round.
Okay, so the 30th pick, it's 2.2.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
better than I thought.
Basically, you're guaranteed. If you're a first-round pick, you probably still need to go. It's guaranteed money, locked in multiple years, in excess of $5 million or right around $5 million. Your first-round pick, you need to go. The ones that I think have real decisions are you're going to be the 47th pick. Like, there's no way you're slipping out of the top 50. You've got a promise at 47, all right? But Kansas State is also offering you $2.8 million to play 1 year of college basketball. What do you do then? Then I think, there's a lot of people who can make more money playing college basketball than they can make even in the NBA next season.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, Baylor Shireman's got a 4-year, $12 million, so it's 2.4 this year.
But just
2.4.
Okay, so you want to get all that guaranteed money locked up.
That's right.
But to answer this question, if Baylor Shireman would have just said, I'm coming back to college for 1 year, who wants me? Somebody would have paid more than 2.4 for him.
Literally right in time on the Gigi front. Like, you beat it by a year.
Yeah.
There's no way Gigi Jackson does what he did. No way. He went in the second round, bro.
Yeah. No,
if he would have made more money staying in college, for sure.
He would have made more money in staying in college.
And he might have been the first pick in the draft last year.
I have made that point for a while. If Gigi Jackson played at North Carolina last season the way he played for the Grizzlies last season, he might have been the first pick in the draft.
I mean, in a draft where it was Zachary Richardson and Alex Sarr and Reed Shepard, and those are the top 3 picks.
Yeah.
Gigi Jackson could have gone. I mean, at worst, he's
if
going
Gigi
in the top 10.
Jackson was the ACC Player of the Year at North Carolina,
oh my God,
which he would have been playing the way he played. For the Grizzlies in the ACC. If you put him in the ACC last season, he's killing.
He had 30-something against the Bucks.
Right. Yeah. He's killing. I really think he might have been the number 1 pick in the draft. Yeah. But to circle back,
it was 1 year early. You know what I mean?
To circle back to the name, image, and likeness stuff. So with PJ, I just think at some point Penny's going to be able to tell somebody this is what it costs to keep him. Do you guys want to do it or not? And somebody will step up and do it. I don't want to put a name on it, but somebody will. And Rick Pitino's talked about this. And it's different at different places. At some places like Ohio State, you might have 50 rich people throwing money into a pot. At like St. John's, it's kind of one guy. It's a billionaire. And so I think Rick was talking to the Barstool Sports guys, and they said, do you have like a budget for NIL? Because Rick just talks about it plainly. He's like, yeah, we lose Kadari Richmond, we lose this guy. He's like, not even looking at high school players. Rick just basically said, we're going to go out and buy the best players we can buy to replace these players that we just bought. And so they asked him, do you have like a budget? He's like, well, I kind of have an idea of what we want to spend. And then he said, but if I need more, there was somebody I can go back to and I can say, if we're going to get this done, it's going to cost another $400,000. And I can get that. I have access to
I want to ask you about another part of the NIL because I saw it was a story about it the other day about the James Harden getting involved in
at Arizona State, yeah.
Arizona State. He's putting his own money into their NIL
That's
fund.
happening all over the
So
yeah,
is there more athletes, more professional players doing that now where they're taking their own bread, going to their alumni and like, I'm going to their whatever alma mater and be like, yo, I'm gonna give you $1 million
because I want my school to be good.
To be good.
That's right. I mean, I don't want to speak for James Harden specifically, but right now the money, like $1 million, still goes a long way.
Exactly.
You could buy a starter with $1 million.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, $1 million to James Harden is nothing.
And you also feel a part of it then.
That's right.
Yeah. You feel attached to that success in a way that when I would donate to the Tiger Fund,
it doesn't feel like you matter.
No.
But okay, so I'll just tell it.
I'm serious.
But I'm just telling stories now. You go down, I've been down to Ole Miss practices a few times this year, and you walk in and there's like 4 dudes sort of sitting over here on the front row.
Yeah.
And you go, who's that? You know what they say?
Boosters.
Those are my money guys. Yeah. And so now this is just part of it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Chris Beard, when he was at Texas Tech, had boosters in every practice. But now it's just like, these guys, they paid for this team.
Yeah.
They want to feel like they belong to it. All the players go over and fist bump them in the walk-in. Yeah. They feel like they're a part of it.
Well, and you were talking about Patino being on Barstool and talking about the, St. John's, and there's a guy you could go to. It reminded me of Dave Portnoy getting involved in that Bryce Underwood thing and saying he had that meeting with the booster, and it's one of these billionaires, but it's not even the billionaire. It's the billionaire's wife that is a Michigan alum and was there, I think, like during like the Brady Hoke era, and she was like, we are never
again.
We're never being back, right?
Again, yeah.
But so she's got this. Who is the husband? Who is like that huge? Because they got that Underwood kid like crazy money, and that's a true freshman coming in to play quarterback there. But I remember Portnoy saying he was like on the call with them, and it's some billionaire's wife that is now like
the Ellisons.
Oh, Larry Ellison.
It's Larry Ellison's wife, Jolene.
Yeah.
Well, like for these.
She's a Michigan alum.
Yeah.
For these super wealthy people, it's still a small price to pay to feel like you're making a difference at your alma mater.
Absolutely.
So if you're James Harden, you could just throw a couple $1 million at it.
Yeah.
It's like
write it off.
There's probably a way to write it off.
Yeah.
There's also probably a lot of athletes that were like, "Damn it, James." Because now Michigan State's calling Jaren Jackson Jr., now Murray State's calling John Morant, now that you're right. It's like, hey, man, we need your help.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like anybody rich associated with, like, in a way that they've always depended on all the rich people that went there.
Right.
It's now a different world.
Oh, sure.
Right.
But, like, don't ever forget this when we're talking about these figures. We know that 25 years ago, there were football boosters in this city with ties to multiple universities who were willing to throw around hundreds of thousands of dollars in the dark. They
for a defensive tackle.
They couldn't even stand up and be like, this is what my money's doing. I'm responsible for this.
Right.
I mean, they would do it at the bar at Folks Folly.
But
they couldn't do it, they couldn't take credit for it.
Yeah.
So now you can actually take credit for it. Now, if you're Dave Portnoy,
I'm that guy.
I did this.
Yep.
Praise me.
Yep.
You can take credit for it and feel a part of it. And
whereas it used to be because you were possibly putting the program in peril.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you got caught doing it,
right,
now you've ruined everything.
That's right. You would literally get disassociated.
You had to be almost ashamed.
You were shamed out of it.
I
mean, Logan,
like, bro, the only reason we're good is because of me, but you had to be shameful about it.
I had these conversations with Logan Young before he passed. Logan went from, like, among the reasons that, I'm not quoting Logan Young here.
But he could be in any luxury box in the world.
Yeah.
There.
And then they told him you can't come back.
Right.
He helped them be good for a long time.
Yep.
But once he got caught, they were like, you are disassociated. You're the worst thing in the world.
We didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. In truth,
they never know what was going on.
No.
Right?
Yeah, no.
Really? We do not endorse that, right? Really? This guy was paying players?
It's a new world for sure. But to circle back to the initial point, Penny getting out in front of it, I think is smart and helpful and perhaps necessary. Because if he can't the way that this stuff happens fast, there will be somebody within weeks, if it hasn't happened already, who is telling PJ Haggerty's people, whoever those people are, there will be somebody representing a college program making sure PJ Haggerty knows he can make more than $2 million next season if he wants to come play basketball somewhere else.
And like I said at the beginning, you and I both have been around for, 25 years watching this program. Bro, it's the same people. They still got money. They're not going to let this.
Especially if it's
these guys ain't losing They did not lose a money deal on Cal.
No.
They gave him the money. They gave him the jet. Every one of them players was driving Escalade. Like, there's still enough of those tiger statues in front of big businesses around town. They ain't trying to say, "Hey, man, we're a farm system." They will not accept that they're a farm system.
No, that's what I'm saying.
The way it was explained to me when the money people went to John when he was considering the Kentucky offer, this is the way they tried to guilt him into staying. They said some version of this, set right in his home, I was told, and said, "John, all we've heard for years from you is that when you're recruiting against the Kentuckys and the Tennessees and the Michigans and everything else, you have consistently said we can do everything we want to do at the University of Memphis. We're on national television as much as anybody else.
Final Fours?
We can go to Final Fours. We can recruit the 5-star prospects. We can fill up the arena. We can schedule whoever we want to schedule. We can get 1 seeds. Everything we want to do, we can get done at Memphis. There is nothing you can do at Kentucky that you can't do at Memphis. That's what you've told us." He was like, yeah. They said, "Okay, whatever they're offering you, we will exceed it. You're not leaving us for money. Right. If they're making you the highest paid coach in America, we will make you the highest paid coach in America."
And what I'm telling you, and you know this, a lot of the people that were in that living room are still around.
Oh, sure.
And they still care.
But they put it on him, and they said, "So unless you're full of shit, you should stay." And he was like, "Well,
he was.
Yeah, it was. I mean, because the truth is, the truth is, everything is easier to get accomplished at Kentucky than it is at Memphis.
Right.
It's you can do it at Memphis.
I didn't say that. I never said it wasn't easier somewhere else. I said it could be done here.
But to your point,
And
that was
prestige.
a moment where I promise you, whether it's Fred or anybody else, they never thought, we'll pay a basketball coach $8 million. But if that's what it cost to do it in that moment, they were going to do it. And this will be similar. I don't know who will step up, but Penny.
Because it's embarrassing. You look like a farm system.
Yeah. All Penny has to do is go, okay, like it's going to cost $3.5 million.
Penny just needs to.
Or he's going to Tennessee.
Penny. Well, okay, so I'll tell you another story that sort of plays in it. Penny needs to be able to.
On some Scooter McFadden stuff.
Well, I'll tell you one.
Shout out, Scoot.
Penny needs to be able to tell PJ Haggerty's people when they come to him, and they say something like, "Well, Texas Tech said they got $2.2 million. Penny needs to be able to say, "You're not leaving me for money, all right? Let's get this deal done. What do you need, 2.5? Let's get it done. Let's lock in now, and so I can move on and build a roster around you." He needs to be able to have that conversation immediately.
I almost feel like they should do it like, if you remember, right before we were about to go into the playoffs one year, they signed Zebo to a contract extension. And it was like, we're with you, bro.
Right.
And then Zebo was out of his mind.
Right.
Like, unbelievable. I almost feel like they should announce, we have signed PJ Haggerty for next year.
Well,
right? It's all fine. And just make it go away, because I don't like this coming out at the end of the year. I don't think that's good for your team. Right. I got it. They're all grown kids, and Lord knows they're older than they used to be. But it's still a little icky, right? When like the conversation going on, and it's not a conversation that we just invented. It's a conversation the coach brought up.
Right.
It all makes you feel icky when it's like, bro, you got a game tonight. You got a conference tournament coming up. You got what if they flame out? What if they do? What if they get beat in the first round? Then all of a sudden, is this guy not worth $2.5 million?
Well, it is. I mean, these are the conversations we do have in professional sports. This is just a new version of pro sports. For instance.
But it's crazy. If he came out and went 1 for 16 in the first round of the NCAA tournament, we lose. It's like.
But this does happen in professional sports. Like the Mets season last season. Pete Alonso is in his final year of a contract. Didn't have a great season. As the season was unfolding, most Mets fans were like, you know what? If he leaves, it's fine.
Yep.
Then he hits this massive home run in the playoffs against the Brewers, and it's like, pay him whatever you got to pay him. Yep. But the whole time, I can remember, like, Pete Alonso walks to the plate, and, like, they actually say, and this could be the last time he ever, walks to
home. Mets uniform.
Yeah, like, we have these conversations, and so we're just having one about Haggerty now. I think that they'll get it done for the exact reason you said. because Penny will make it clear, if you want me to be a Kentucky or a Tennessee, I can't be having my players bought out from underneath me. I can't change my conference schedule, but I can't lose over money. John Calipari did this one time. You mentioned Tennessee. It was different than NIL, but it was with Jeremy Hunt. If you remember, Jeremy Hunt got permanently dismissed from the Tiger basketball program after an incident at 152.
Classic venue, by the way.
He was going to Tennessee. He was getting ready to transfer to Tennessee. And John, as it was told to me, went to, I believe, Dr. Raines at the time, if it lines up the right way.
By the way, I see Jeremy all the time, but the story at the time was that Jeremy Hunt was using a ball gun and broke his hand.
I'm the one that had to report that.
Do you remember that we worked with the girl that was the bartender?
I know that we found
at 7:30.
Yeah, there was something
she was a sales girl,
right?
And she worked at night as a bartender at 152. And she's like, Jeremy Hunt got in a fight last night at 152.
The first thing I heard about it was somebody spotted Jeremy on campus with a cast. Crazy. So I start making those phone calls. I got in touch with somebody on staff, and they were like, oh, I have to call you back. I don't want to say who it was, but somebody on staff. Then they call back, and I'm like, listen, there's a picture of him I've seen. Yep. He's got a cast on. I'm going to write he's on a cast.
He said Calipari said a ball gun.
So one of them, and they said, yeah, this was the story they gave me. Off the record, GP, but it was, he was with the shooting machine, and the ball pops out, and you catch, shoot. And I was like, if you want me to write that a source close to the program said that, but just know, and I told this coach this, it was an assistant coach, just know when I write that, what I'm hearing is the cause of the broken hand. There are going to be witnesses for that, and when people read that, they're going to call my numbers right there at the bottom of the story.
Right.
I'll have this story updated by tomorrow. And then we got it, and then that happened, and whatever. We found it was broken.
So anyway, he gets suspended.
He gets permanently dismissed. He's getting ready to transfer to Tennessee, is what I'm told. John Calipari goes to Dr. Raines and says, if you do not reinstate Jeremy Hunt, he's going to play for Tennessee. And when we play Tennessee next season and he scores 22 points on me, I am going to hold a press conference and say, I wanted Jeremy Hunt back, but my president stood in the way and wouldn't allow it to happen. I didn't want to give up on that young man because he's special to me. But my president gave up on that young man, that young black man. She threw him away. I'm paraphrasing here.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that would have been
but
amazing.
really,
moment.
put it on. When he goes to Tennessee and wins an SEC title, and people are asking what happened, I'm going to tell them it's you.
Yep, it's your fault.
And you know what?
It would be, honestly, I swear to God, if Tennessee came in and offered this guy $3 million and took him, it would be the most devastating thing that's happened to Memphis basketball.
Or even worse, you ready? Ole Miss.
Don't you dare, GP.
Not even one of the,
No, really?
Yeah,
you can't be more devastating.
Or even worse, Arkansas. Go ahead.
Oh,
if
that would be
Cal
the
came in
worst.
about
If Cal came in on
that way, because it would just be like,
you know what?
Big Bang take Lil Bang.
But you know what? That would be the best thing for Memphis is for Cal to come in, because that would be the one thing that the Memphis boosters would not allow to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Like they would just, it'd be like, now it's $7 million. We'll pay $8. We are not losing a player to John Calipari to Arkansas. They really would.
We got to have money for our AAC Avengers too, GP. You know, we got to put together our AAC Avengers again this year.
Yeah, the handshake line.
The handshake line team, man.
I will say this, in our Slack, there was the CBS Sports College Basketball Slack. There was an AAC player and one of the recruiting guys, because I don't really live in that world as much as I used to, but one of the recruiting, AAC player had a big game, and one of the recruiting guys, I swear, posted in there and was like, yeah, that's a future Memphis Tiger.
Damn right he is.
But I think he meant no, I'm hearing. They're already going to try to get that guy.
We are the AAC Avengers, bro.
Well, you might want to look at tonight's, because I can't help but watch what's happened with them, and you think about how profoundly significant we've talked about the coaches being. And, of course, you've seen Rick Pitino build St. John's into anything. I can't feel worse for a program than I feel for South Florida, because he was on the way to building something extremely special. As long as they were going to be able to hold on to him before he tragically passed away, Amir Abdul-Rahim, Sharif's little brother.
Awesome guy.
Who did it at a low level.
Did it Kennesaw State?
And now this is the next step, which is, and he won 23 games or whatever it was last year. I mean, this was like,
he did great
this
things
team
at
was
two
on
bad
an
jobs.
amazing trajectory. And then, you're just you're back to square one, right? They have a losing record this year. And obviously his tragic passing right before the season this year is the absolute worst, but it does speak to how great he truly was, because he had that program ready to become, like, when we were, I think we would have fairly said at the end of last year, we're going to look at UAB with Andy Kennedy. We're going to look at South Florida with Amir Abdur-Rahim. Like, those are going to be the next version of teams that we're going to have to get past, because we have so much respect for those guys' ability to get players and coach them up.
Yeah, like, Amir
sucks.
Oh, it's the worst.
They were 25-8.
He's a young guy.
25-8.
13 and 17.
He's a young guy,
16
father,
and 2 in
husband.
conference.
I got he worked for Tom Crean at Georgia. I got to know him a little bit back then. But
he's the Anthony Edwards guy, too.
Yeah. And then, like, the way it works during the NCAA tournament, coaches who get eliminated in it sometimes or weren't it, like, we'll bring them in studio. And we brought him in, and he was with us for a couple of nights, I think, a couple of years ago, after he took Kennesaw State to the tournament. And just, you meet people like this, you're like, that's just an impressive guy.
Was it Kennesaw?
Yeah, I thought it was.
Was it Kennesaw he was at?
Yeah, Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State.
Yeah, Kennesaw.
Just impressed by him. Like, man, I know this guy could coach basketball, but I wish this guy was my neighbor.
Right.
Like that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I wish this guy lived next door to me. That impressive. And so I became a big fan very quickly. And yeah, when you hear what happened, it's like, it's just.
And now you see this program.
And
you know
it
what I
just-
mean? The
yeah,
reason it
it's-
stands out to me is because I was looking tonight. I was like, who's this Memphis senior night? I didn't even know who the Memphis senior night game was against. And I was like, South Florida. And then, of course, I looked them up, and I'm like, damn, man. Like, this team was really good last
By the way,
year.
guess who's in Kennesaw State's head coach now? I don't know why I recognize his name. Anton Petway?
He plays a famous college player.
Yeah.
Was he at Bama?
Bama? Yeah, it's
I was like,
Alabama.
that name sounds mad familiar.
Oh,
bro.
wow.
I think he's one of those guys who was like a 5-star recruit and then just a whatever college player, but was like more famous as a high school player than he was as a.
It'd be like if we look up in a couple of years and Kennesaw State's being coached by Javon Quinterly.
I know, right?
One of those.
Or my boy Akil Carr. Shout out to him.
The Crime Stopper.
The Crime Stopper, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it is kind of wild though when you see, because like this team, we lament the conference so much. He was going to have them cracking.
Oh yeah.
He's going to build them into a big
And he was also the
program.
type of guy like who could generate NIL money and rally that community, and that's a school in a real city, so they could have corporate support, and you just have to start all over. Like
All
you
right.
find something, you just got to start.
Last thing before I get you out of here, what is the best possible seed Memphis can get, in your mind? And why the hell are their KenPom numbers so crappy? I think they're really good, and they're 49 or 50 in KenPom every week, and I'm like, damn, bro. They've only lost 5 games. I got it. That's not like the 5 most impressive losses or anything, but why are their numbers so?
It's efficiency stuff. It's always
I
offensive.
know.
Like KenPom, the biggest
They
misconception.
got wins over UConn and Michigan State. And
The biggest misconception about KenPom is that it cares whether you win or lose.
Yeah.
It does not care whether you win
It's
or
how
lose a game.
it's all process.
It's all points per possession, offense, defense, adjusted for competition.
It makes me mad that they say that KenPom's algorithm says they're not as good as I think they are.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
If you beat a bunch of bad teams by 40, that's better than beating a bunch of good teams by 1.
That's fair.
And so the resume's the resume.
Because they don't beat anybody by 40.
Yeah, they don't beat the bad teams by 40. They beat the good teams, but then they don't beat anybody by 40. 4 seed seems about as high, like if they just win out. Something like a 4
If they
maybe.
won tonight and then they just won all their games in the conference tournament, you think it is possible? There's no way they could get a 4, right?
I don't want to say there's no way. I mean, Lenardi's got him a 7 now. Palm's got him as a 6. I know some Memphis fans like.
I'd rather be a 7 or a 6 than a 5. Honestly. I would. Because I think it's easier to get the upset in the second round. If I'm 7, I'd rather play the 2s.
You want to play the 2?
Yeah.
Other than if you're a 5, then you're in that 5-12 game.
I know, and 12 always wins.
Yeah.
I'm scared of 12.
I would just.
I am. I know you always want the highest seed, but I mean, I think I'd rather be on the 6 or 7 line than the 5 seed.
I think you want the higher seed unless you get in that 8-9 range.
Because what are you, 6-11, and then you play the 3?
I think what I would rather always be, the highest seed I could be as long as it's in the top 7. So I'd rather be a 4 than a 5, a 5 than a 6, a 6 or a 7. But once you give me the option of being an 8 or a 10, I'd rather be the 10 or the 11 or the 12 than the 8, 9. I don't want to play Duke or Auburn or Houston in the second round. There's a difference between the 1s and the 2 seeds.
I just think I'm in the opinion. Usually, when I watch this tournament, I'm like, I usually find that I would rather be on the 6 or 7 line and play the 6-11 game into the 3. You know, because you're probably around the same range as 3 seeds. I bet if I went and looked right now, I'd say, you know what? I'd take a game against a 3 seed. But those top 8 teams, which are the top 2
I think if you
seeds,
look at the bracket, what you'll find is like the number 1 seeds, at least the top 3.
You don't want any part of them.
You don't want any part of that.
Oh.
The 2 seeds feel different for the most part than the 3s. Than the 1s. But then once you get to the 3s are going to look just like the 5s.
That's what I mean.
The 3s are going to look just like the 6s. Once you get in the range of they're ranked 14th or 24th, there's not much difference there. What's going to happen?
But then the big problem, and this is my point, the big problem is the 5s are also like the 12s.
Yes, there's not much difference.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, once you get down to that range.
It's not unheard of to get into a bracket and the 12 seed is a favorite over the 5.
Which is wild.
Which is just a seeding issue. But here's the issue. Memphis fans get so focused sometimes, not all, but some, on the AP poll. And they'll go, hey, we're 16th. So how could we be a 6 seed or a 7 seed when we're 16th in the AP poll? Well, because the AP voters, I say this as respectfully as I can say it, but they, broadly speaking, don't know what they're doing. Or at least they're not trying to do the same thing Jerry Palm and Joe Lunardi and what I am largely trying to do, which is evaluate your total body of work. And when you start doing that, Memphis, 16th in the country represents top 4 seed right now. There's no bracket out there, not a reputable one, that would have Memphis in the top 4 seed right now. Right. Maybe they can get there. More likely, here's what's going to happen. Memphis wins the AAC outright title, AAC tournament, and is ranked 11th in the AP poll as a 6 seed in the tournament.
That's tough.
And Memphis fans say, how are we a 6 seed but ranked 11th in the country? And the answer will be because the AP voters
but
don't
I
know
like
what they're
it.
doing.
I like it because here's what happens. When I am promoting 6 seed.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because 11 is a mediocre Big Ten or SEC team, right?
That's about what they're going to be.
12 is like College of Charleston and Butler.
That's where you get involved with a Drake team that's lost 4 times all year.
I ain't trying to watch their film.
Right? 11 is always the mediocre big conference team.
Let's go play Oklahoma, who just finished 10th in the SEC.
They're a mediocre big conference team. That's what 11s are, right?
You don't want to get the College of Charleston, who's got a bunch of tiny-looking dudes who look like Peyton Pritchard running around.
Yeah.
Like, you ain't trying to get a tournament.
I don't try to play against
Grand Canyon. You don't want to get a game with those guys.
I ain't trying to play against Grand
12
Canyon.
is always these awesome teams from bad conferences.
And when you talk to coaches, what they'll tell you about those teams, like those 30-win teams from mid-major conferences, it's like, okay, you can out-athlete them, and you have out-resumed them, but them dudes ain't done nothing for 4 months except win.
Yep.
That's all they've done for 4 months. They just win.
Who was your dude at Stephen F. Austin?
Oh, Thomas Walker.
Yeah, you're playing a team that's got a guy like that. That's like, dude.
And Brad Underwood.
Brad Underwood,
That's right.
Yeah.
You run into those every year.
Trying to do that. Hey, GP, can you tell me why Cooper Flagg and his family are teasing Duke?
By suggesting he might come back?
Yeah, why are they doing that?
He just really doesn't want to be a Hornet?
No,
or a wizard.
I'd go back to Duke, too.
He's like doing the...
Here's the truth.
Run it back?
Yeah.
Here's the truth. He is very young. He just turned 18. He's probably having the time of his life.
Oh, God.
Living with his best friends and being the star of a sport.
Yeah, dude.
On a college campus. He's probably having so much fun. He genuinely doesn't want to leave.
I mean, if the chicks were hotter at Duke, it'd be even better. I could be, right? Like Jackson Dart had it the best, but like.
Literally, he really did.
But Cooper Flagg, I mean, we would trade spots.
Yeah, for sure.
He is probably having the time of his life and does not want to leave. Somebody will sit down with him and explain to him, you have to. It's just, you have to.
And that person is New Balance.
Yes, right.
Yeah. You're wearing too many Nikes, my guy.
Yeah, but he wears Nike every day.
I've told you this before, and this is among the times when I decided, okay, I'm done questioning what young people do as it pertains to those decisions, because I was, I think, enlightened by, of all people, Marcus Smart. If you remember after his freshman year, he was an All-American level guy and would have been a top 5 pick. Travis Ford was his coach and told me, he got the feedback from the NBA, and it was that Marcus would go no lower than 3rd. And he came back to school.
And went 6, right?
whatever it was. And so that next season, went to Orlando, sat down with Marcus Smart. Just sort of why are you back here? And why did you do this? You turned down a lot of money. Most people don't do this. You know what he said? I was the best basketball player on my team, living with my best friends, and I wanted to try to win a national championship, play in these arenas on national television. And I realized I might not ever be the best basketball player on a team again once I get to the NBA. And I'm going to trust that the money will be there. I know I'm risking something, but I'm going to trust it. I just didn't want to give up on this. I'll never get this back. And I want to enjoy this. I'm having a blast, and I don't want to. And I was like, well, who the hell am I to argue with that then? And
even, you know what's crazy? Even Zebo, when he was in here earlier this week, said, if there was NIL, I'd have gone back. Izzo didn't know how to deal with it because he had never had a player leave after 1 year.
Right.
He goes, but if there was like money like that, like we had just made the Final Four, he's like, I loved college.
I loved it. From most of those guys, you will hear them say, the most fun I ever had was the 1 year in college or the 2 years in college.
Or the 3 months I was there.
Yeah, you know, they don't, they leave because they have to.
That's right.
Now there can be compelling reasons for you to stay, but not if you're Cooper Flagg.
So you're not. So if you were to put a percentage on him spinning the block, you put it at 0.
0%.
I'd put it at 1 just to leave open the possibility that somebody would. But like it's. I don't doubt his sincerity.
You're emotional right now.
I don't doubt his sincerity that he doesn't want to leave. But he will have. Be financially reckless not to leave?
Yes. What if he stayed at Duke and said, "Yeah, but I'll stay, but like I'm not going to wear the Nike. I'm wearing New Balance shoes."
You can't do that.
Why not? What are they going to do?
Oh yeah, they'd figure out a way.
Yeah, like what are they going to do? No, never mind. We don't want you here anymore. Like what are they going to do?
Do you think Duke would figure out a way?
Yes.
Like the jersey would still say Nike, but he's like, I'm wearing my New Balance shoes.
If it came down to you can have Cooper Flagg for another year, but he gets to wear whatever shoes he wants to wear, or play barefoot, like whatever. He can do whatever he wants.
Because Ace and them, did they have this? I know at the beginning they wore Nikes. Did they have to switch back?
I'm not sure, honestly, but I'm just telling you, we have reached the place in college athletics where everything is negotiable.
Tight.
Everything.
Tight.
Gary, I know you got
Go get your tire fixed, GP.
CBS Sports HQ. All right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back into this. Chris Vernon Show.
We did get a new shoe that dropped today that we should all be able to get if we want it.
Fire.
And it's been one people have been waiting for a long, long time. Asia Wilson. What do you guys think about the shoe?
I love it.
It looks great. We see people wearing Jaws. We see a lot of people wearing the GT line, but then also we see a lot of NBA players wearing the Sabrinas.
Yeah.
I bet you there's going to be a lot of NBA players wearing that.
I agree with you on that.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Our fans have a huge impact on our ability to play to the level that we're striving for.
Drop off, Durant. Oh! Well, you wanted home crowd involvement.
I love those moments where you see our guys engaging in the fans, and the fans just get pumped up.
They are standing in FedEx Forum.
I would hate to be on the other side with the opposition when FedEx Forum's rolling. That's such an unbelievable relationship that our group has with our fans.
Are you aware of the story of Larry Brown and John Calipari coming to see you at an AAU tournament?
I knew Coach Calipari was in the crowd. I had this incredible game. I had maybe 17 dunks in the first half or something. One of my guys was like, "Yeah, I think Coach Calipari was speaking with one of the NBA scouts, and they're saying, yeah, you're not gonna go to college, bro. You're going straight to the league." I was like, "That's the plan, but if I don't, I definitely want to go to Memphis," and that's how I went down.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Anticipate each challenge. Make a quick response. Capitalize on every opportunity. And win. Greatness won't wait. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st. And you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Number 9, man. I'm gonna be ready and hype. Let's just gonna be hype. My banner gonna be up right next to my brothers, Zevo, Big Spain. It's a great feeling, man. Never imagined this. I didn't think this would ever be a thing, and it's one of the biggest days of my life. I'm looking forward to it.
Fly by King. Wheels through the lane, now spins back. Ja hangs, puts it in! Oh, what a shot by Morant in the clutch! So hot. Oh, Jared says no! Because he doesn't put on the play, comes up with a monster block.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris
On one morning
Vernon.
bright and clear, my old folks and I drew near, just a village down in sunny Tennessee. I'd been speeding on that train that would bring me back again to that girl I left in sunny Tennessee. I could hear those voices singing as she bid farewell to me.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. Get to the basketball stuff with the Grizzlies coming up here in a minute, but I've got to tell you guys about this story I was just reading while we were at the break about this kid, Richard Wesley. He is a 2027 defensive end prospect, and the reason it is a story, otherwise, outside of the fact that he's fantastic, is that he's reclassifying for 2026, okay? But as I was reading the story, it said defensive end prospect Richard Wesley, one of the nation's top recruits in the 07 high school class, has reclassified into the 06 class and will sign with a college program later this year, okay? So he's just moving up in age. He is a 2027 recruit that is reclassifying for 2026. You say, that's kind of odd, right? He's still got a little while. He is 6'5", 245 pass rusher.
Yeah, it's a big
from
kid.
Chatsworth, California. He completed his sophomore season at Sierra Canyon. He is a sophomore in high school, and he is 6'5", 245. His move marks the latest high-profile reclassification in the current cycle. And so, look, that is a story that we will remember. Inevitably, we will hear about Richard Wesley one day as a big recruit, but that's still far off. It is amazing that a sophomore in high school is reclassifying a year early, and the guy is evidently already a man-child.
I didn't know they made
right?
Richards no more either, by the way. That was a extinct name for a minute.
Yeah.
Richards.
Well, get ready for this. The reason I'm mentioning this to you is because every year when we do the college football all name teams, we always have some that we vote on, and we are always, I mean, we've been doing that for the last 15 years, and it's unbelievable. Like every year. There are always incredible names in college football. Richard Wesley obviously does not apply to said great names that we will remember. But as I am reading this article, and it says that his move marks the latest high-profile reclassification in the current cycle. Because there is a tight end named Mark Bowman. He reclassified. You know, the money is now there, right? So these guys, if you think you can go play college football a little bit early, they're willing to go play college football a little bit early. Yeah. Mark Bowman, obviously, will never remember that unless he becomes a big-time star. Xavier Crowell, not that big of a deal. Havon Finney Jr. These guys are all guys that were supposed to be in the 2027 class, but they are reclassifying. I wonder if this is going to go this way. I wonder if we're going to see a lot. But the reason I am mentioning this has been a long-winded way of saying that while Richard Wesley's reclassification is highlighting this, and then it says he is one of the latest high-profile reclassifications, I mentioned all those other names. Not big deal. Mark Bowman, Havon Finney Jr., this kind of stuff. What I did not mention is the highest ranked reclassification. Booby Feaster.
That's crazy. Shut up, Booby,
dude.
Man.
Booby Feaster.
There is no way his name is... His name is actually Ethan.
Ethan Booby Feaster.
Booby Feaster?
He's from DeSoto, Texas.
That is a top 10.
Yeah, that's a great name.
That is a top 10 name.
Booby's a great name.
Booby Feaster?
Yeah, that's a good one. Booby.
He is number 21 on the ESPN Junior 300.
Ethan, though? I thought
Booby Feaster.
When I saw Ethan, I thought it was going to be a...
Booby Feaster.
And he's reclassified from 2027 to 2026.
Yes, Booby Feaster is an amazing name.
He should go by Booby. Don't go by Ethan.
Huh? He does go by Booby. He's Booby Feaster.
His Instagram says Ethan.
It does?
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh, well, that's a shame. He'll always be Booby Feaster to me.
Yeah, it's like a.
I wonder if the reason I'm bringing this up is because I wonder if this is going to be commonplace, right? We're going to see guys that like it was. You know what was happening?
Get into college early and get that NIL process started.
But it was the opposite. It was the opposite. What we were seeing is it's become a problem in Memphis. The reclass down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The reclass down because then I'm better. And now you're going to notice me because I'm playing lesser opponents.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to really stand out. So, like, it became an issue there for a while with the holdbacks.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of times, I mean, look, I saw a game last year when William was in 8th grade. We played a football team, and they said that quarterback was the 8th grade quarterback at another school last year. And I was like, how does that work? What do you mean he was their 8th grade quarterback?
Right,
He's like,
right.
yeah, he was their 8th grade quarterback. Because you got to make a bunch of these decisions have to be made prior to high school because they've started to implement. And I don't know. Look this up.
TSSAA just put in a one-time transfer rule too.
Is it now?
They just put it in.
They just put it in.
Well,
They
then this
just put it in.
Then this is a disaster.
Yeah.
That's going to be a disaster. The only thing that stopped kids from going was they had to make that choice by junior high. I saw a lot of kids. I mean, I'm talking kids I know that made their choices going into high school, right? They left one school in 8th grade and went to a different school in 9th grade. Because once you go to a school in 9th grade, now I have to sit out.
You lose a year.
You have to sit out a year. This is exactly what they did in college, right? In college, you had to sit out a year. Well, as soon as they opened up that transfer portal, now we know, right? I mean, it's a Wild West.
It's only in high school, though, too.
Huh?
It's only in high school with the one-time transfer thing.
What do you mean? you can do it once in high school.
Yeah.
Well, no, there are no regulations on junior high.
No. You can just swap middle schools as much as you want to. But yeah, they said they just
So
changed
now
it.
you can transfer.
Yeah, under the new rules, students can transfer once during their high school careers and without losing eligibility if and only if those students are transferring for a non-athletic reason.
Oh, give me a break.
Come on, bro.
What?
People can find a freaking non-athletic reason. Like, what?
Wait.
That's what this new rule says.
Yeah, right. Non-athletic reason. What?
You can make up stuff if you want.
Nobody cares if you transfer unless it's for an athletic reason.
Right.
You think they care if Bobby goes from he went to Houston last year and this year he's going to Germantown?
Because he loves the biology program.
I mean, nobody cares if a regular kid transfers schools. It's only even a discussion because of athletes.
Oh, here goes. Here's another.
It's only a discussion because of athletes. It's not a discussion because Sally, wants to go to a different school because, everybody calls her a whore where she goes now.
That's crazy.
I'm just saying that is the kind of stuff that happens with kids, as you know.
Yeah.
Kids can be cruel, and there might be a kid that got in fights at a school, or he gets bullied at a school, or he doesn't like it there anymore, or he's lost all his friends or whatever, and he's going to go to, he needs a better, healthier environment to go. And so that kind of stuff does happen, but it is few and far between, right? You don't have some kind of problem of the general population of students going to a different high school the next year.
Yeah.
You do have that with athletes where they say, you know what, and good luck to guys like your uncle.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think this serves us well. I don't think this serves us well in terms of raising children. Right? The answer is be better, be different. Right? If you're not playing on this team, work your way up to be on that team. If you think you should be playing, be better than the starting five. Right? Like that's the deal. And if you don't make it, you don't make it. But this whole this coach, right? How are we expecting even high school coaches to be able to coach kids?
Yeah.
Seriously. How are we expecting them to be able to hold kids accountable?
Mm-hmm.
How?
Actually, I just saw it happen last night, bro. A kid literally, because my uncle was yelling at a kid on the bench. The kid literally took his jersey off and walked to the locker room.
And now he could just transfer next year.
Yeah.
Right. That's not good for the kid. It's not good for the adult.
That man took his jersey off and walked to the locker room in the middle of the game.
Middle of the game?
I said, what is happening? Yes, bro. My uncle got on him for he messed up a rotation or something on the press. And you got to get on the player. He got onto him. He checked out, walked over, took his jersey off, put his jersey down, walked to the locker room, changed his clothes, would have sat in the bleachers. In the championship game for the regional.
Who's that good for?
Yeah, exactly. It was wild.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was like, I've never seen that happen. But that was crazy.
I don't think it's good for kids. I don't think it's good for the adults. I don't know how you're supposed to coach these kids.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I coach this kid. I do the best for him. I develop him, and then another school just comes. We can't turn high school into college.
Yeah.
Should we turn college into the pros?
I know.
Yeah.
And I just don't think this is good for athlete development at all.
It's not.
I also don't think it's good for character development.
It's definitely not good for that.
It's not good for character development.
You can see if I don't get my way over here, I can just leave and just go get my way somewhere else.
Yes.
If I don't get my way over here, I get my way over somewhere else. You got to learn how to get rejection, bro. Rejection's a part of life.
Oh, well, right now, it's going. You know what it's going to be. Am I starting next year?
Exactly.
Because I can start here.
Yep.
Who is that good for? Who is that good for?
Yeah, bro.
I just don't. I don't understand. I think that's a bad idea. There's a lot in the basketball community that will disagree with me. I foresee a circumstance where it's and then you're also going to have all the guys team up together.
That's what Whitehaven did.
Right? Yeah. They're all just going to team up. You're just going to take the best. Whoever is out there and cares so deeply about this, he's going to go wrangle the best player off this team, the best player off that team, the best player off that team, and next thing you know, they're just
That's literally what Willie Kim did. He took the best players from Douglas, Bucks play from all like the 2A schools and like, oh, come on over here.
And it's going to be money. It's going to be.
Come on over here to
We're
Whitehaven.
offering you a free scholarship, and hey, you come over here, everything's going to be fine. And then that kid's going to go there, and then maybe it's not what he thought it was going to be, and then he's going to. I mean, again, we've turned college into the pros. Now we're turning high school into college.
Yeah, we are.
Bro, just go to prep school then. You know what I mean? Like, what we don't need to do is turn our public, our public high schools and our private high schools into colleges.
Or
that's
prep
what we've
school.
had. Like, these kids are not. They're not able to deal with this in that way, in my opinion.
I'm with that.
Right?
Like,
and I say this as somebody that has a 15-year-old, right? Yeah. Who loves sport, and I can't even fathom me saying, you know what? I know you got a bunch of friends over there or whatever, but hey, we saw that team play. Yeah, they ain't as good as your team, and you probably wouldn't be able to see the court on your team. So, and then I change them schools?
Yeah.
For what? I mean, I can't tell you how many times I want to yell at these parents. I tell them, like, I'm around these guys all the time, and there's 60 countries developing NBA players. Your kid is not going to the NBA. Stop making basketball decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
Make human decisions.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Stacking teams. I know what's the name.
And in a city like this, now these kids are going to be making their own decisions, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a crisis in terms of, my wife was a public school teacher. She had 180 kids. 180 kids in 6 classes. Honors. This is the year we had William. So it's 15 years ago. She had parent-teacher conferences. 2 parents showed up. Two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Parents don't care, kids won't care.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, so then they're being guided by these hoop dreams and whatever, or football dreams, or whatever the case may be. And it's like,
they want that playing time, man.
Right?
They want that playing time.
Right. And also don't want to be yelled at and don't want to be embarrassed. But, that is what builds character.
Yeah.
Right?
Or just
not leaving. Not saying, F you, I'm leaving. Right?
Yeah. Dealing with the stuff. Like, I know
dealing with it.
We get on with Gilbert Arenas for saying a lot of wild stuff, but I think he made a really good point with his kid. Like, with his kid, he didn't, he could easily go to Sierra Canyon or like one of those big schools. He put in one of them schools where he's the best player, and he has to deal with like triple teams and double teams, and people dealing with everything else. So when he goes to like the McDonald's All-American game,
right,
he's just playing one-on-one against dudes, and like me one-on-one with you is so much easier than playing me 3-on-1 against these other dudes I was playing with. That's why you got to deal with the struggle, bro, to get to the success sometimes.
Well, and I think so many times that we talk about how many guys now we regularly see in late first round, second round, undrafted. It is infinitely more than we ever saw before. Go up and down rosters. And yet there's all kinds of guys that were on the other side of that thing, right? Like, in the end, I can't look more to that than to tell you that there is, I'm trying to think, like, if you were to look right now at rosters and you were to find like these guys that were drafted in the second round, undrafted, and you see them all the time in the G League and whatever else, and then like those guys, there's so many of them that have made it and now have long-term contracts. Yeah. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't see Imani Bates retweeting his Cleveland Charge highlights.
Not Imani Bates.
But he kept leaving.
Yeah, he did.
He did all of it. The reclass, the leaving, you know what I'm saying?
Penny got onto him, so he just disappeared.
Right.
And then,
Penny yelled at him and embarrassed him, so then he said he hurt his back. And then he came back and he played the one game in the NCAA tournament. And then he went off and he went to go play at Eastern Michigan, right? And it's like, is it better to be that, or is it better to be Desmond Bain, who barely got on the TCU team and had to work 5 times harder than everybody else just to be able to stay in big conference basketball, and then became one of the greatest players in TCU history and gets his jersey raised?
Yep.
Whose path was better for their development? One of those guys is retweeting Cleveland Charge highlights, and I'm not trying to bag on him, but Desmond Bane has a $200 million contract now. Yeah. And I think that part of him having to work to do that and not just saying, you know what? Like, you don't think Desmond Bane could have gone to Bowling Green and averaged 27 points a game? Of course he could have.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, our boy Alex brings up a good point. He said in the chat, he said, kids just want to be paid and acknowledged now. They don't want to develop as athletes no more.
Yeah.
They want the followers. They want the Ballers Like mixtapes. You know how many people my other uncle does like mixtape for high school kids.
Yep.
You know how many times he does a high school mixtape for a kid that averages 2 points a game? And he's like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna make a mix for this kid. This kid thinks he's like so and so. He's like, yo, can you make a mix for me? I said, bro, you score 6 points a game. What you want to mix for? Like the mixes used to go to the kids that used to put up buckets.
Yeah.
Like you just run up and down the court on your mix. You may do a warm up layup on your mix. Like it's getting saturated, bro. Like we did lose the plot a little bit, bro. On what
and then you see a decision like this being made, and I'm like, God, why? What is that going to make better? What is that making better?
Yeah.
Who are we in service of?
I don't know.
What are we trying to make happen here?
But you better believe I'm going to be on eBay later tonight, because tonight at the Cleveland Charge game is a Monty Bates bobblehead night.
No.
Not even kidding you. It's tonight.
You buying me one?
Yeah, I'll get us. We're getting a Monty Bates bobble. They're only going to be like 1,500 of them. They go to 1,500 people.
And Monty Bates
bobblehead night.
That is cool to have your own bobblehead.
And he's wearing the Charge jersey. If he was wearing a Cavs jersey, I wouldn't care. Wearing the Charge jersey makes it way better.
And he's doing like a celly too in the bobblehead too.
Yeah.
He's doing like a celebration. Hold on, let me see the celly he's doing.
He's doing that.
Oh, that's amazing.
I thought he was doing this.
That's amazing.
Are you looking at the right thing?
Yeah, something like that.
Like this.
What is that?
This, Rosary.
No, he's got his
ice in my veins.
Hand is like,
it's ice in my veins.
But the bottom hand looks like a gun.
It's ice in my veins.
They wouldn't put
he's had those before.
He has, exactly.
I mean,
they might like a gun celly on a damn bobblehead.
He might like them though.
One time.
What's wrong with y'all?
Multiple meanings.
He might like guns. All right, Roser, what'd you think about the Tony doc?
It was awesome. There it is. Look at that.
See, he's doing the
oh yeah.
He's doing
and Monty Bates.
Goofy ass Roser.
Yeah.
You
presented by Ohio Cat.
Ice in my veins.
Yeah.
Ice in my veins.
Yeah. Need to get one of those.
He said, you old as a mud.
What'd you like the most besides the fact that I was on? Obviously, that's everybody's favorite part. All my parts are the awesomest ones.
Yeah, I thought, just all of the highlights, some of those highlights I had, the parts that got me like emotional were seeing just all of the highlights, not the ones from the playoffs. I've seen those a million times, like the first team all defense. It's a massive thing, but I've seen them. Like I've seen them a ton. It was some of the other stuff, the first down stuff, those, and I thought the real emotional part was the letters.
Oh yeah,
the letters to the judge
and Rose.
And Rose, yes.
The Bob Marley quote he said was probably one of the best quotes I've ever heard in my life. He said, "What friends are like stars, they show up for real when it gets dark."
Yeah,
I was like, "Damn, that's kind of a bar." Yeah, dang. You watch it one time or did you run it back?
I just watched it once. It was last night. I didn't get home.
Did you cry?
So I teared up. Yeah, I got a little teary.
Okay,
It's hard not to get emotional watching it. And here's the other thing is I saw a lot of people talking about it last night, and they were like, and this is where it's one of those like super blessing. And there's so many people that I saw that are like either my peers or maybe even a little younger. Yesterday we put out the thing about the shirts coming back out next week. A lot of people were hitting me up saying, I remember buying them from you and Roser on the street and whatever else. And then when you watch that movie, it all kind of, like even when I was talking to Brevin the other night, that's the thing. It all comes rushing back, and it really is like one of those, bro, we didn't overrate this.
No.
It was awesome. This was a moment in time, man.
Yeah.
This was a moment in time that we all lived through.
Yeah.
And you watch it back, and then you see, like, the people on the concourse, you see those playoff crowds, and you're like, bro, it was lit.
I thought the story.
Lit. Yeah. People were cloud nine, and bro, it was just like, it's a moment in time where it was like, Bro, you had this team that everybody loved and then pulled off some incredible things that even when they didn't, you were just heartbroken. You just lived and died with it.
Yeah.
Lived and died with it.
I still think that they should find a way to make these guys. I know that people say they won't care, but like, find a way to get these dudes to sit down, take 2 hours out. Y'all block out everything else on their schedule. Find 2 hours and make them dudes watch that.
Yeah.
To see like you could not to be like, yo, you can have this impact. Just to be like, yo, these are the guys that set the foundation of why people love this team the way they do now. Like I know you might not care as much.
And you might have seen some YouTube highlights or whatever. Look at the people and look at the way people react to them.
Look at this.
Look at the way they react to them now.
Yeah.
And I do think that the other things that brought back, at least as far as those teams go, I thought the Juwan Howard building the court and where he grew up, and that kind of opened the door for him, started playing basketball more when that court got built. They had a safer place to play. I thought the other thing was, I do think you need things to break right for you, and who knows, but I do believe like that 2011 run, and then that year they lost to the Warriors when he popped his hamstring, Mike got hit in the face in the Portland. They absolutely could have made the NBA Finals both of those years. They were good enough. They were good enough to make the finals. They were good enough.
It's one of those things where you watch it and you go, what might, who knows?
Yeah.
If it would have played out differently, but I sure would have liked to have at least seen it.
See
if they could have.
One of the plays they showed from that run in 2011 was Zebo hitting the step back game-winning buzzer beater at Dallas. And if we didn't have that triple overtime game, if we would have won that triple overtime game against the Thunder, we would have been up 3-1. I think we would close the series out in 6. And then we'd play Dallas in the West Finals.
And we matched up well.
We matched up well with Dallas all season. They had no answer for the bigs. They had no answer for Zebo and Mark. And we had both of them. And Dallas obviously went on to beat Miami. And I don't know if we would have beaten Miami in the finals. Maybe not.
But we had success against them during the year.
We were good enough. We were good enough to play in the finals.
You know what's crazy?
Enough.
So the other night after that was Tuesday night that we saw the documentary. Wednesday night, I was up in the suite with Tony and Zebo, and I was talking to Desi, Tony's wife, and I was like, hey, you had told me about all these people that are going to be coming to town. They got 1 million people coming to town for next weekend for Tony's jersey retirement. And so I started like rattling off names. I was like, well, because, Vince will be here, Paul, KG, all those guys. They're all going to come in. Obviously, Mark will come in from Spain, and Zebo will be here, or whatever else. And then I just started rattling off like other names. I was like, Quincy? She's like, yep. I said, Eddie D? She said, yep.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Ed Davis, let's go.
Hey. She goes, guess who else? I was like, who? She goes, Bano. I said, oh my God, I hadn't seen Bano.
Great shot by Bano.
I haven't seen Bano Udre in 10 years.
Great shot by Bano.
She said Darrell he's on a scouting trip for the Nuggets. He works with the Nuggets with Darrell Arthur. But a lot of those guys from those old teams are coming in town.
If Eddie D is here the day before.
I should have asked her about Rondo.
Oh, yeah. I bet Rondo will be here. I would bet Rondo's here.
That's the one person that wasn't in the dog, because that's the reason why T.A. wore 9 here, right?
Yeah.
Because of Rondo. That's one person that wasn't.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm sure like a lot of those guys. Who else was Tony's big buddies? Al Jefferson.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a bunch of people from his past, but like, there's going to be a lot of people in town for that. You saw like what the cooperation they got for the documentary. People love him.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of people.
Dude,
that are coming in town for that.
They got Russell Westbrook.
I know.
To sit down and talk for a long time.
Too.
Yeah,
Another thing too though about the doc is too like the little nuances of Tony. Like the carrying the freaking laptop around, and his teammates were like, "Bro, why are you carrying that big old computer around?"
Yeah.
And Mark was like, he had the first iPad because he would break his computer. Another thing too, a very underrated moment. I haven't heard anybody bring it up at all. They brought up a lot of the basketball stuff. Is the part where he said, his mom said, "I want you to go. You get your degree, right?" Yep. There's a part in the doc too when he goes back to the crib. He's going through all the degrees that his whole family has.
Yeah.
That shit right there, bro.
Wild.
Is dope, bro.
Yep.
Like to be the kid from Chicago that you could have got counted out at the beginning, and you get to your NBA, whatever. But you get to go back home, and your whole family, everybody got degrees.
Well, and you saw Derek throughout that documentary talking about how he didn't know, but obviously Derek was big buddies with Ryan, his brother.
Yeah.
And he said, I saw how he transformed his family's life.
Yeah.
By accomplishing what he did. So for me, I'm looking at that going, you know, look, he's got his mom in this house in the suburbs now, and his sisters are going to school, and like all this, like it was like his success became this empowerment for all of these people being able to accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, and that Derek would look at that and go, I need that.
I need to do that.
Yeah. Look at this.
Ah!
Look at how he transformed everybody's life.
Y'all did a great job with that.
They did. They did a great job.
Amazing job.
Hey, and I will say, for those of you that missed the, obviously it premiered last night on YouTube. It's available all the time.
Yeah.
If you do anything, especially if you're a big time listener of this show, like watch the documentary. You will love it.
And there's
it's
a 30-minute making of too.
Oh, there is.
There is. I haven't got to watch it yet, but yeah,
making of
when I went on YouTube,
I haven't watched that.
When I went on YouTube last night, I just searched Tony Allen Grindfather documentary. It pulled that up. It had the one that it's like an hour and a half.
There's a making of,
and then there's a making of that's like 30 minutes.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Wait, who's in it? What's happening?
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I just watched the doc.
I hope it's probably all about me, but
it's not.
It's probably not.
I mean, Chris Harrington, they led perfect into you. You really need to give Harrington
it's
his
the
props.
panel.
It's the conversation, y'all.
I am in it.
Yeah, it's
You
all about
are
it. It
in
is all you. Yeah.
You really need to give Chris Harrington his flowers for
Why?
that doc because, I mean, he easy lob. It was like D-Wade just lob it up to LeBron. It really was.
What happened?
Oh, and the doc, he said and the other thing that really made all this possible, and that was Chris Vernon. The great grind takeoff. And then it goes to you and you start talking about everything, about the T-shirts. Like he lobbed it
shout
up.
out to Chris.
He lobbed it
It's
up.
called editing,
That was a
Roser.
good clip.
It's called editing,
That was a
bro.
great
There's no
clip.
chance he just like said that off a hand.
No,
Yeah.
Chris Harrington did say that, and then he took off the mic and he walked out the room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, big shout out to Chris Harrington.
lob.
Also, big shout out to myself.
Shout out to yourself.
Shout out to myself.
Shout out to myself. All right, so we got Tigers versus the South Florida Bulls tonight at FedEx Forum, and it is senior night for them. We have Memphis versus Dallas. Like, as I've told Dave Jacoby on our podcast, there are times in life where you look around and you go, hey, you know, this sucks. I got this not going my way, this not going my way. And then you look over and you see somebody that's like actually dealing with horrible things. And you're like, God, I feel so ungrateful for my life, right? Yeah. And that is the Grizzlies and the Mavericks, where it's like we've lost 4 in a row. Jaren's hurt. Ja's been disgruntled. It's like everything feels terrible, but it's like, at least we're not them. Yeah. At least we didn't trade our franchise player for a guy that got hurt immediately, and then our other guy tore his ACL, and then, I mean, it could be worse. It can always be worse.
It's like the dude that's on a draw spell in the club, right?
Right.
He ain't come up on nothing in the club in a long time, and he finally, you know, he's in the corner. It's 2 a.m. He finally get a little layup.
This is very specific to you.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I am.
And they put out their Mavericks.
Things like that don't happen to me. I'm a very respectable young man.
It sounds like a real life experience.
Very
This is
respectable
getting
young man.
incredibly
very respectable
specific.
young man.
Yeah, and
Very
they put out their Mavericks medical
You see a
update.
little layup in the corner.
And all it says is that everybody's going to be out longer.
And it says Spencer Dinwiddie ready to ball.
It said Anthony Davis is resuming dynamic on-court movements.
Oh.
Speaking of Chris Harrington, he did put out the tweet that he saw Jaren and Sonny shooting that shoot-around.
I saw Jaren jumping around during the game Wednesday night.
We also saw
I should have reported that.
Report Jaren jumping.
He was jumping around. He was running up and down the tunnel and stuff. And I'm like, what is going on?
If you had to put a bet on it, what do you think he'll be back?
Jaren?
Yeah.
Next week.
Which one? We got 4
I think
games
it's a
next
light sprain.
So
because
Friday?
he didn't have a boot on, he didn't have crutches, and he was like getting up and down all night and walking into the huddle and whatever.
And like jumping around outside, like around the huddle.
So what we got? We got for Dallas and what this weekend?
New Orleans on Sunday.
Orleans on Sunday. And then we got back-to-back. We got Phoenix again on Monday. You playing them again?
I'll say also he's on the trip. So it's not like he's having to do 24-hour ice down on this thing to try to get it back.
Yeah. So we got Phoenix.
For injury maintenance.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
I don't think if you were doing super injury maintenance that you'd be flying to this quick trip, right? You'd just stay in rehab, right? Wouldn't you?
If it was bad, yeah.
If it was bad.
Yeah.
So I'll
You
say
can
Monday.
rehab on the road, too, though.
I'll say Monday.
You say Monday against Phoenix. He'll be back. Interesting.
Maybe, what's the next one after that?
Utah Wednesday.
Yeah, maybe Utah Wednesday.
Do you go say?
And at worst, Miami.
Saturday for retirement night.
I'll say he plays Wednesday and Saturday.
That's fair.
He won't play Friday and Saturday, both of them. So, I'll say he plays
look,
Wednesday
we've all
and
injured our ankle.
Saturday.
We know there are obviously very different levels of severity. I have hurt my ankle, and you're not up walking around.
That would have him miss 4 games.
Right? No. Like, that's why, there's bated breath here at the Knicks. Because if that Brunson thing, there are ankles like Fred VanVleet's where it's like, bro, you got hurt in January. What happened?
Right.
You can, and I have, hurt my ankle terribly.
You can miss 2 months.
I have also sprained my ankle to where within a short amount of time I was, you know what I mean? And he, for sure, has got to get to that 65.
You could be out 1 week or 1 month. You could be out 2 weeks or 2 months.
They said grade 2, but I'm telling you, he was walking. He wasn't limping.
And I saw your guy in street.
So that's why I'm just saying I'm hopeful. I'm not telling you he can play right now, and he's not. I promise you, he will play the second they clear him, he will play.
Your guy in street clothes said the average for the grade 2 has been 3 weeks. But it
didn't have a
appears
boot
it's
on
not
either.
going to
Like,
be 3
when
weeks.
you see a boot, you get a little scared.
Boots, crutches, I get terrified.
Yeah. But running around on this bench,
like he was doing that.
Phoenix will be 1 week. Monday's 1 week, exactly when he suffered it. So, yeah.
I think he could come back faster than. And that's just me watching him bounce around. If tonight he's
also we know that
sitting there solemnly on the sideline, then I'll feel differently. But he didn't seem very solemn and hurt. This weekend
there's
or
nothing Jaren does
on
solemn.
Wednesday.
There's nothing Jaren does solemn though.
I understand.
He's always.
But he also he wasn't limping.
He wasn't limping. He's a 7-footer. If his ankles really, really hurt, he will be a little giddy up.
Yeah. I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say. Because we've seen bad ankles before. Yeah. When he jumped up, was that at Cleveland or somewhere? Remember when he had his horrible ankle injury? That was terrible. He jumped up in the middle of everybody in the lane, and you just saw his ankle.
It was the net. It was Dallas. It was Dallas.
Oh, it was?
Remember, it was the ball hit it, and it.
No, not that one.
That was preseason.
I'm talking
right?
about where he jumped in the air. This is early in his career. He was high as crap, and then came down. It just turned on him. It was a bad.
Is that when he said, "I'm only wearing Kobe high top 9s"?
Maybe. Might have been. Might have been.
Shout out to the Jatus.
He had a couple ankle injuries early. But anyway, so we got Grizzlies against Mavs. We got Grizzlies against Pelicans. We got Tigers versus UCF tonight at 8 o'clock. And then this weekend, dude, Saturday, we have both Bucks Cleveland. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. You got Auburn, Alabama, right?
And
Lakers Celtics.
Woo! Yeah, Saturday night.
Don't bother me tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, Saturday night, Lakers Celtics is amazing.
Oh,
that's amazing.
That's a nice little basketball lineup.
And especially with the Bucks and Cavs, because that could be the second round.
Yeah.
Right.
So now I'm gonna be at there's a Memphis vintage market too for everybody out there that shops vintage. So
really?
This is where I'll probably watch the game at. There's
Where?
a Memphis vintage market at Grind City Brewery tomorrow from 12 to 6.
There is?
Yep. There's at least like 30 vendors on this list.
Where is Grind City Brewery?
Point that way. Yeah.
That way.
That way.
Like that way.
That
downtown.
Way. You know what?
That doesn't help me.
You know
yeah,
where the
does.
police
Turn around and go.
You know where the police keep the
go.
horses and shit at?
No.
You don't know where that?
Yeah. Turn around and go.
Just go that way.
Just go.
Just
You'll get it. You'll
drive that way.
You get there.
You will run right into it.
Type it in your phone. You got a map.
Let's go that way.
Not that way. No, not that way. Pan to the right. Pan to the right. Pan to the right.
All right, where are we going?
Pan faster. Come on. We don't want to be here all day.
Oh my God.
All right. Now just go.
Just go. You'll run right into it. Like you just take that road right here. Just
go.
All the way down.
So by the pyramid?
No, keep going.
If I keep going, I'm to the pyramid.
No,
keep
not
going.
on this street.
I'm past the pyramid?
Yeah, St. Jude and all that. You're going past
all that.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Go past.
It's cool.
I've never been there.
They are
North
building
Memphis.
an amphitheater where they're going to have concerts there. They had Primus play there this summer, the past summer.
Go past North Memphis. Go past.
Yeah.
All of that. Go past Cozy Corner.
Yeah.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
They're on the come up.
Keep going. If you keep going, you're going to run into this little.
And then at some point, you're going to want to just Google map it. Just say Grind City Brewery. It's going to take you there.
Grind City Brewery. So there's going to be, the point is there's a vintage show.
A Memphis Vintage Market, yeah, from 12 to 6 tomorrow. like I said, there's at least 25 to 30 vendors on this list.
Oh, wow.
It should be a big-time
You
market
going?
out there. I'll be there. 12 to 6, drink a little brewski, walk in the brewery, watch some basketball. It's going to be a good day.
All right.
Good day.
There you go.
See y'all at Grind City Brewing tomorrow.
Do Hustle have a game?
Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. Salt Lake City.
At Landers.
Yep. Salt Lake City. Who's good?
Oh, it's dog day.
It is dog day. Hustle and
So you
Hounds.
can bring your dog.
This is where I got my dog last year. It was Hustle and Hounds.
Oh, wow.
Y'all's a dog. I was going to go, but I don't want to hear all that damn barking.
Heartless bastard.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Come
trying
on.
to watch basketball. I ain't trying to hear no barking, dog. I'm just respectfully. But I'll still be there, though.
All right, that's going to do it for today's show.
Fair.
Thanks to Gary Parrish. Thanks to Devin Walker. Thanks to John Roser across the glass. Everybody have a wonderful and safe weekend. We will be back on Monday. Until then, we go.